welcome back. Thank you for tuning into another newly listed on the CSE clip. And today I am talking to two executives from ASEP Medical Holdings. Company is listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange. I have with me virtually Rudy Mazzocchi. Rudy is the executive chair as well as the CEO of the company. And joining Rudy is Bob Hancock, who is the chief operating officer for the company. Gents, thank you so much for your time today. I hope both of you are well.
Very good. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Perfect. So why don't we get into it? Bob, I'm going to direct the first question to you. Why don't you talk to our audience about ASEP Medical Holdings? What is this company's vision and what do you do?
So ASEP is a new company that's addressing major markets related to a phenomenon called antibiotic failure. And the failure of antibiotics, together with antibiotic resistance, constitute one of the greatest threats to modern medicine. And ASEP derives from the amalgamation of two technology assets, Sepset Biosciences and ABT Innovations, companies that I actually personally founded, and is pursuing the clinical validation and commercialization of both a proprietary early sepsis diagnostic test and an antibiofilm anti-inflammatory therapy to address very large unmet clinical needs.
Got it. Now, Rudy, why don't I jump to you with the second question there? So what was the strategy behind taking ASEP Medical Holdings the public route?
Well, as Dr. Hancock indicated, so sepsis, accounts for 19.7% of all deaths, and biofilm infections, 2/3 of all infections. It's an enormous global problem causing a loss of life of millions of people and chronic issues for survivors, resulting in multi-billion-dollar annual burden to our healthcare systems. And many foundations and research funders have recognized the value of our development efforts, and it provided the company with a little over $15 million in grant funding to advance our preclinical activities. So as a privately funded company with exceptional medical researchers, directors, and management, we need to ensure that this technology reaches the global markets. Becoming a public company provides us access to that necessary capital, as well as market recognition needed to identify the best possible strategic partners who can assist us in the global commercialization of these technologies.
Well said, Rudy. Now, I want to talk a little bit or dive a little bit more into your background and then talk about the team that you've assembled along with Bob to, move this company and project forward.
So to start, our founding group is led by Dr. Bob Hancock, and he's an international renowned academic in microbiology and immunology, and also director of the University of British Columbia's Center for Microbial Diseases and Immunity Research. He's recruited and built an exceptional medical and pharmaceutical R&D research and development staff, including Fadia Syed, Chief Business Development Officer, and she has an extensive track record of strategic planning and implementing significant projects for global companies. Also joining us is Dr. Evan Haney. He's Chief Scientific Officer. He's armed with a PhD in biochemistry, and he's jointly leading our preclinical and clinical development efforts with Dr. Hancock. So myself as chairman and CEO, I have a proven track record of development, commercialization, and exit of over a dozen med tech and biotechnology companies throughout not only North America, but Latin America and Europe. And I currently and previously have served as chairman and or independent director on several public and private companies, boards of directors. I've received multiple Entrepreneur of the Year awards from Ernst & Young, and have authored over 100 US and international patents in various fields of medical science. And finally, rounding out our team is our Chief Financial Officer, Jen Gretchen, formerly with KPMG Canada and Senior Financial Analyst with Qualcomm. And she brings years of experience in accounting and financing with both private and public companies.
Rudy, what would you say differentiates a company and team like the one you've assembled or you've all assembled from some of your peers in this space?
Well, this is really truly a rare consolidation of both the proprietary diagnostic and therapeutic technologies that are aimed to address this multi-billion-dollar global clinical problem. And there are no adequate solutions. So these technologies have been in development for more than a decade now in the Hancock Laboratory at the University of British Columbia. And as I mentioned previously, funded by various US and Canadian non-dilutive grants. and recently supported by sophisticated private, corporate, and institutional investors. So the main significant differentiation is that this company, this group of founders and related staff, have identified and provided early evidence of solutions for major clinical problems associated with antibiotic failure.
So, Dr. Hancock, are there any milestones you're able to talk about that our viewers can look out for from the company in the coming weeks and months?
Yes, we're very excited about the progress we've made and the rate towards that we're accelerating towards our goal, which is, of course, to be a clinical company rather than an R&D company. So we've made major progress in advancing our diagnostic platform towards regulatory 510(k) filing in the US. We've been awarded several key patents, and we've formed strategic partnerships, and we've performed an in-depth economic analysis of our diagnostic technology, and recently demonstrated that our therapy works in predictive animal models for the particular targets we're interested in. So the company is preparing a series of upcoming press announcements of developments leading up to our public listing. And we're in the process of identifying and finalizing additional strategic partnerships with company partners, contract research organizations, and consultants who will perform key preclinical tasks and advance our technologies. And these are all designed to help expedite the clinical development and commercialization of both the diagnostic and therapeutic technologies of the company. The form of the diagnostic will move much more rapidly, and we should see very rapid progress in the coming months. And we are also in the process of formally engaging contract research organizations to assist with regulatory filings and to identify our initial clinical sites and their principal investigators. So accelerating towards product development.
Dr. Hancock, seems like the company will be having a strong finish to 2021 and probably even stronger start to 2022.
Yeah, we're quite happy with the way things are moving.
So where can our viewers go to, obviously read up on your team, the technology, the problem that the company is trying to solve, and hopefully sign up for your press releases and get to know a little bit more about why this company is a good investment opportunity?
Well, we have a new website that's up and running. It's, if I do say, quite beautiful. Of course, I didn't design it myself, unfortunately. So it's www.asepmedical.com. And there you can also find linkages to the technology assets, Sepset Biosciences and ABT Innovations, that also have websites and provide you with a little bit more of an in-depth view into the actual underpinnings, if you like, the scientific underpinnings of ASEP Medical. So I think investors there have forms that they can fill out and directly request information. And we're also planning to talk to investors at frequent intervals.
Perfect. Well, gents, I really do appreciate both of you taking the time to not only educate myself a little bit on this problem that you're finding solutions to and the technology, but also our viewers that might be interested in learning more about the company. So I appreciate you taking the time. I wish you and your team nothing but success in the coming years and months and years as you move forward with this. To everybody watching, I'm Anil Mall. I represent the Canadian Securities Exchange, and you've been listening to both Dr. Bob Hancock, who's the Chief Operating Officer, as well as Mr. Rudy Mazzocchi. He is the Executive Chair and CEO of ASEP Medical Holdings, listed on the CSE under the symbol ASEP. Gents, again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Thank you for tuning in to another newly listed on the CSE. Please feel free to hit like and share this content and hit subscribe if you haven't already.